here with Stanley Cup Champion Adin Hill. Adin, you spent your day with the cup. You brought it to the mayor's office at your hometown. How important is it to bring politics into hockey?
I think it kind of should sort of stay out of hockey, but I mean, it's a sport. But yeah, just do a good deed for the community, and I brought it to a couple police stations and stuff too. So just cool to, I don't know, it's kind of crazy how much energy the Stanley Cup has around it. You bring it to a building in Canada and the whole place lights up. So it was pretty cool to see.
There's something about just like plopping down the Stanley Cup near a bunch of people, and especially like kids are maybe just because it's a shiny thing, but I truly think it's just like one of those, like, it doesn't need to be explained to you. They don't need to say that's the Stanley Cup. People freak the fuck out over that. What was it like winning it, getting it, when months earlier you couldn't have seen that coming?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was pretty excited the day I kind of got traded to Vegas. I mean, kind of sucks when you get traded from a team and it's out of the blue, but kind of looked at it with optimism, knowing that we had a good roster here and looked a lot better than the Sharks did at the time. So I was excited, and yeah, I mean, everything kind of worked out. So it was pretty wild at the end of it. You play street hockey every day, kind of growing up, like you're in the backyard thinking that you're scoring that Game 7 overtime goal, right? So to actually be able to win the cup and lift it above your head, I mean, yeah, dream come true, and it kind of all comes down on you at once. It's pretty surreal.
How much of a blur has the last year and a half been for you? You get traded, you back up, then you're injected into the starting lineup in the playoffs, you win the cup, you get a new contract. How much reflection have you had on these past couple of years, and how much it's changed?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had kind of belief in myself that I could try and be a top goalie in this league. And I think just kind of having that faith in yourself and keeping your head down, putting the work in. I mean, it eventually, this last year, it's paid off a bit. So it's been fun. I want to do more. Obviously, I'm not done yet, but no, it's been exciting. And I haven't had a ton of time to reflect. Summer went by pretty quick. You get the cup, you get your day, you kind of get home, get settled, but then you got to go back to camp, right? So yeah, not the most time to reflect on it, but just trying to enjoy every moment best I can.
You had an awesome first half of the season. So between that and the cup final and everything and the run to the cup, everybody at some point by now has had the holy shit, Adin Hill is sick realization. You said you've always believed in yourself, but do you feel that all this experience, that you've gotten better at hockey over this stretch?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have no doubt that I've gotten better. I felt like last year, kind of halfway through the regular season, I got hurt there the second half, which sucked, and trying to come back from that injury. But felt like right before I got hurt there, I kind of gained some traction. I think I found my game. I figured it out a bit in a way. I don't know, not that you'll figure it out all at once, but it felt like everything just kind of came together. So kind of had that moment last year. I'd say it was maybe in February. So then after that, I felt pretty strong, confident about my game. And then, yeah, playoffs was, don't think, just get in there and stop the puck. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
But I was going to say, when Brossoit went down, what was going through? Was there any level of panic where you're like, oh, shit, this is in my time now?
For a second, maybe. But then you're just kind of like, okay, make that first save, right? Where we were in Edmonton, the whole building's chanting, and yeah, they see Brossoit get hurt. You're like, oh, well, I'll get my gloves. So yeah, it's tough to see a teammate go down like that, especially LB was playing really well at the time, and yeah, he had a great stretch for us there. So hard to see, but you kind of got to put that in the rearview mirror and focus on the game.
Well, you did have to come in and face Edmonton in Edmonton, and I mean, obviously they were coming off a good series. In a horror movie, if early on, if someone survives an attack or whatever, okay, well, that person's gonna live the whole time. If they didn't fucking die, then they're gonna make it the whole way. Once you won that game, I was like, I mean, everybody thought the Panthers were a team of destiny and everything, but after getting through that game, I think there was a real sense around Vegas with well, shit, Vegas might be winning the cup now. Did you feel like once you'd gotten past Edmonton of, if I can survive Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, all these guys, then I'm clearly in some sort of zone here and can do this?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of liked my whole childhood and everything. I've always kind of liked the big moments, the big games, when you're playing for the championship of a tournament, whether it be a small tournament, big tournament, whatever. I always like those games, or the games where you're kind of considered an underdog, right? I've going into Edmonton series, people did, but not many people picked us. Mm-hmm. And then going into Dallas again, I saw tweets and whatever, but nobody was picking us. And then in the finals, everybody was saying Florida. So kind of cool to be the underdogs and go into those scenarios. But at the end of the day, like our team, I don't know, we had no point of weakness last year, right? So I feel like we've kind of shown that a bit again this year. We've had some injuries in that, but yeah, just kind of fun to prove it wrong in a way.
Especially when like the weak point for your team last year was supposed to be goaltending.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was like, I don't know if they have the goaltending. So how nice was it to be like, shut the fuck up. We do.
Yeah, no, it's fun. So, I mean, a lot of hockey, I mean, for a defenseman, for a forward, if you're the 13th guy on a team just out of the lineup, a lot of it is opportunity, right? So everybody who dresses and puts on an NHL uniform is a great player. So it's a lot of it's just about opportunity, playing on that first power play and that. But there's definitely the elite guys that separate themselves. But yeah, everyone's a good player.
Speaking of which, I want to ask you, who do you think the best Canadian goalie is right now?
Best Canadian right now? I mean, there's a few guys. Tough. Canada's kind of in a weird spot, right?
Right.
So we had, for years when I was growing up, it was you had the Waugh, then you had Brodeur, you had Luongo, you had Fleury, you had Price, you had Holtby, you had all these big names. Right now, I feel like Canada, like we got a lot of good goalies, but we don't have a clear guy, I'd say, right? Like there's not like one guy that you'd be like, okay, he's Canada's starter. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting.
Sounds like Adin Hill was his answer. What does the date November 9th, 2021 mean to you?
November 9th, 2021.
You had such a fucking sick offensive game.
Oh, Calgary?
2 primaries, bud. You had 2 primary helpers. None of this hockey is shit.
Calgary,
hockey's shit. When you get an assist, when you're watching the rest of the play develop, obviously it's the other end of the ice, but like no one else touches the puck, they score, you're like,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got a little jab in there. So there's lots of times too, you make a pass, you get a 2-on-1, you're like, bury it, guy hits post, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Wanted that one. But actually that Calgary game, I remember like Calgary's my hometown, right? So I'm playing in front of a lot of friends and family. So it's always fun to go back to Calgary. But yeah, in Calgary that game, I had the 2 assists. I think both were just kind of setting it up behind the net for my D-man, and they kind of did the rest, so worked out. But I thought I should have had a shutout that game. The 1 goal they got on me, I thought I was interfered with, but we did a coach's challenge, and you know how that goes. It seems to be 50-50. So I felt like my pad got pushed into the net, and then they buried the puck, and I couldn't do anything. And then also on the empty net goal in that game, I almost had my 3rd assist. So on the empty net, I set the puck, I passed it, I think it was to Burns, and Burns had it. A forechecker came, touched the puck for like 1 second. Burns got it back, shot in the empty net. So if whoever the forechecker was there, if he didn't touch it, I'd have had 3 assists, which would have been pretty cool.
what an asshole.
But, yeah.
God
dick,
damn.
eh?
More and more goalies are shooting, going for it, scoring. I feel like that's already played out now, but with you being an assist man, have you considered going for like a goalie Howe hat trick where you get an assist early on, piss somebody off, get in a fight, and then just make sure you allow enough goals to keep it close?
I mean, if you're a goalie and you get in a fight, you're out of the game. So I think you got to get the assist. You got to go for the goal. And then if you have a goal and assist, you just got to square up at center ice with someone.
Celebrate
right?
by do like a Max Pacioretty, celebrate by being like, that's what I thought, bitch.
Maybe do the fly by your bench and then grab somebody on their bench, and there you go.
This is good. You're gonna have incredible stats. You're gonna be kicked out of the league in like 2 years, but like you're gonna have some bonkers stats lines. Your hat says, "Don't be a dick." Why not?
Honestly, this hat met a guy. Actually, it was before I played for Vegas, but gambling here in Vegas, and he opened up a coffee shop. So it's called La La Land Cafe, and there's a few in LA, a couple in Texas, but yeah, it's a cool company motto. I've kind of followed his Instagram page in that sense, and yeah, I just went there last week. So the company, they hire, every employee they hire is like out of the orphanage system. So pretty cool kind of idea. So yeah, I thought I'd support out the company a bit and grab a hat.
We do know you're
what's
a coffee head.
What's the deal with your coffee obsession?
Not an obsession.
Oh, you're
I
fucking
just,
obsessed. You can't stop
No,
doing
no.
your coffee tattoo, dude.
Imagine just nice coffee beans.
We are very good at Photoshop. You're gonna have a coffee tattoo during this.
Gonna have a
seen it on your
teardrop of
mask.
coffee beans.
That's incredible.
No, I like my coffee, but I've just noticed a big taste difference in it. So I use paper filters and that, and it takes me like 5 minutes to make coffee. It's a little longer of a process, but I enjoy it, and I just find the taste is that much better.
I was told to ask, what are your thoughts on All of a Sudden by Lil Pump?
It's a great song, you know. If you want to get the boys going before beer pong or something, great song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing more to that story.
We'll leave that out of it.
He ghost wrote it. He's a musician.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we had one day where we played the song probably 1,000 times, so that's why.
God. Well, Adin Hill, we really appreciate you joining us. You've been such an awesome story. And also, not to get into snub talk, massive all-star snub. Massive all-star snub.
I didn't play enough games.
You shut up. You played enough games. You played enough games.
Yeah.
Is that, did they do like were you like not eligible or something?
I don't know. I didn't talk to anyone. I don't know anything. But I mean, the other guys that went, they all had 30 plus games. I was at maybe 15 or so when they made the selection. So yeah, completely understandable.
I don't think you should just get credit for showing up to work. I think you should get credit for showing up to work and doing well.
Doing a
I guess,
great
fair
job.
enough.
Yeah. Lauren Hill, one album. And it's considered one of the greatest. She's considered one of the great artists ever. She has one solo album. As long as you show up and fucking bring it, then you're golden.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Adin. This was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Was it not?
Yeah, it was good.
It was very good.
Excited to
Awesome.
see those tattoos.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.